The 101st Amendment Act of 2016 was a significant change in India's tax system. It introduced the Goods and Services Tax, GST, a new way of collecting taxes on goods and services. The main goal of GST is to streamline the tax process and make it easier for businesses and consumers. To implement this tax system effectively, it is essential for the central government and the state governments to work together. To ensure this collaboration, the amendment created a special body called the Goods and Services Tax Council, often referred to as the GST Council. This council was established by adding a new provision, Article 279-A to the Indian Constitution. This article allows the President of India to form the GST Council through an official order. Following this amendment, in 2016, the President set up the Council, which plays a vital role in managing GST across the country. The GST Council is located in New Delhi, and it is responsible for making important decisions related to the GST system. It discusses various aspects such as tax rates, exemptions, and procedures. The Union Revenue Secretary serves as the ex officio secretary to the GST Council. This means that the secretary plays an essential role in the council's functioning and supports the process by providing necessary administrative services. The GST Council consists of the finance ministers of the central and state governments, ensuring that all levels of government are involved in the decision-making process. This collaboration aims to create a uniform tax structure across India, making it easier for businesses to operate and for consumers to understand their tax obligations. The importance of the GST Council lies in its ability to bring together diverse interests and achieve a common goal of simpler and fairer taxation. In addition to Article 279-A, the implementation of GST is governed by various other articles in the Constitution, such as Article 265, which deals with the levy of taxes, and Article 246, which grants the Parliament and the state legislatures the power to make laws with respect to goods and services tax. These articles lay the foundation for how GST is collected and regulated, further underlining the coordinated efforts essential for this new tax regime to function effectively. Overall, the establishment of the GST Council under the 101st Amendment Act of 2016 represents a landmark change in Indian tax policy, fostering cooperation between the central and state governments for better governance and economic growth. Vision and mission of the Goods and Services Tax, GST, Council. The GST Council plays a crucial role in managing the goods and services tax in India. When carrying out its responsibilities, the Council aims to build a well-organized system for GST, allowing for a smooth national market where goods and services can be traded effortlessly across the country. To ensure that its functions are executed properly, the Council also establishes procedures that guide its operations. Vision of the GST Council. The vision of the GST Council is to create a cooperative and efficient organization that serves as a strong foundation for India's federal system. The Council is recognized as the first constitutional body in India, having the authority to make significant decisions regarding the implementation and changes in GST laws. This unique position is important because it aims to unify the tax structure across various states and ensure fair practices in taxation across different regions. Mission of the GST Council. The mission of the GST Council focuses on developing a GST system that is easy to use and powered by modern technology. This involves engaging in a broader conversation with various stakeholders, including state governments, businesses, and citizens, to get feedback and insights. The goal is to create a system that is not just efficient but also user-friendly, making it easy for taxpayers to comply with the tax policies. Key constitutional articles and laws. The GST Council operates under Article 279 of the Indian Constitution, which details the creation of the Council and its functions. This article provides the framework for how the Council is to be constituted, including its membership, which consists of the Union Finance Minister and the Finance Ministers of the states. Moreover, the decisions made by the GST Council have far-reaching implications, as they impact various laws related to tax collection, rates, and exemptions under the GST regime. The integration of different state and central taxes, such as excise duty, service tax, and VAT, into a single tax system is designed to streamline the process and reduce the complexities involved in tax compliance. The GST Act itself, which is a combination of the Central Goods and Services Tax (CGST) Act, the State Goods and Services Tax (SGST) Act, and the Union Territory Goods and Services Tax (UTGST) Act, is essential for understanding the framework within which the GST Council operates. It outlines the rules, procedures, and guidelines for tax registration, filing returns, and compliance for businesses and consumers alike. In conclusion, the GST Council's vision and mission emphasize collaboration and technology-driven solutions. By ensuring that the GST system is structured to promote ease of use and fairness, the Council aims to create a more efficient tax system that supports economic growth in India. The constitutional framework provided by various articles fortifies the Council's role in this transformative initiative, ensuring that it meets the diverse needs of the Indian economy. Composition of the GST Council. The Goods and Services Tax (GST) Council is an important body that brings together representatives from both the central and state governments in India to make decisions regarding the implementation of GST. This council plays a crucial role in shaping tax policies and ensuring that taxation is fair and effective across the country. The council consists of several key members. The Union Finance Minister serves as the chairperson of the GST Council. This position is significant because the chairperson leads discussions and decisions affecting the national economy. Alongside the chairperson, the Union Minister of State responsible for Revenue or Finance is also a member of the Council. This minister typically assists with financial matters and offers valuable insights. Each state government also contributes to the Council by nominating a minister who is in charge of finance, taxation, or any other minister they choose. This inclusion ensures that the interests and needs of various states are represented in the decision-making process regarding GST, which is essential for maintaining a cooperative federal structure in India. The ministers from the states gather to select one among themselves to act as the vice chairperson of the council. They have the authority to decide the term of this vice chairperson, making the role flexible and adaptable to the changing political landscape. In addition to these core members, the Council has a provision to include the chairperson of the Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs, CBIC, as a permanent invitee. However, this role is non-voting, meaning that the CBIC chairperson can participate in discussions but does not have a say in the final decision-making process. This inclusion is meant to ensure that the Council has access to technical expertise and insights from the body that oversees indirect taxes and customs operations in India. Understanding the composition and functions of the GST Council is essential, especially for citizens and businesses who are affected by GST policies. The Council's decisions are made under the framework provided by Article 279 of the Indian Constitution, which establishes the Council's formation, structure, and powers. This article emphasizes the collaborative nature of tax administration in the country, showing how the central and state governments work together to create a sound and efficient tax system. Overall, the GST Council is a vital institution in the Indian taxation landscape, ensuring that the interests of both the central government and state governments are taken into account when formulating tax policies. The decisions made by the Council are determined during its meetings. To hold a meeting, at least half of the members must be present. This number is known as the quorum. When making decisions, a majority vote is required, specifically at least 3/4 of the votes weighted according to the members present and voting at that gathering. In terms of voting weightage, the rules specify two important points. First, the central government's vote counts as 1/3 of the total votes cast in the meeting. Second, the combined votes of all the state governments together account for 2/3 of the total votes. This structure ensures that both central and state governments have a significant influence on the decisions being made. It's also important to note that any activities or proceedings of the Council remain valid even if there are certain issues present. For instance, the following conditions will not invalidate the Council's actions: if there is a vacancy or flaw in the makeup of the Council, if there is a problem with how a member was appointed, or if there is a procedural mistake that does not affect the outcome of the decision. The operation of the Council is guided by certain articles of the Indian Constitution and relevant laws. Specifically, Article 263 of the Constitution describes the establishment of such councils for the purpose of coordinating efforts between the centre and the states. The principles laid out ensure that despite any administrative or procedural issues, the Council can continue to function effectively to make decisions that can impact governance. Understanding these regulations can help clarify how the system is designed to balance power and ensure that government decisions are made in a fair and functional manner. The combination of weighted voting and provisions for maintaining validity amidst procedural issues signifies a thoughtful design aimed at promoting cooperation and stability within the Indian political structure. Functions of the Goods and Services Tax (GST) Council. The Goods and Services Tax (GST) Council plays a crucial role in shaping the tax policies related to GST in India. Its primary purpose is to provide recommendations to both the central government and state governments on several important matters concerning GST. Understanding these functions helps clarify how GST operates in India and its implications for taxpayers and businesses alike. One of the main responsibilities of the GST Council is to recommend which taxes, cesses, and surcharges that are charged by the central government, state governments, and local bodies should be included in the GST. These taxes might include a wide range of levies that previously existed before the introduction of GST. This merging of taxes simplifies the taxation system and makes compliance easier for citizens and businesses. The GST Council also helps determine which goods and services should be taxed under GST and which should remain exempt. This decision-making process is crucial because it affects consumers and the overall market dynamics. An important aspect is the model GST laws, which the Council develops to outline how GST should be applied. This includes guidelines on how GST is taxed on goods traded between states, which is referred to as interstate trade. The principles for figuring out the place of supply are also established here, determining where a transaction is considered to have taken place. Furthermore, the Council recommends a threshold limit of turnover below which businesses can be exempt from paying GST. This is particularly helpful for small businesses that may find it burdensome to comply with GST regulations. The Council also sets the tax rates for GST, which include base rates and certain range bands to provide flexibility. This means there are minimum rates which will not be lowered, helping maintain a steady revenue flow for the government. In times of natural calamities or disasters, the Council can recommend special rates for a limited period to help raise additional funds. This responsiveness ensures that the government is equipped to handle emergencies more effectively. It is essential to note that the GST Council also focuses on special provisions for particular states in India, including Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Jammu and Kashmir, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Sikkim, Tripura, Himachal Pradesh, and Uttarakhand. These regions may have unique challenges, and tailored provisions help address their specific needs concerning GST implementation. The Council can also advise on any other matters related to GST that it deems necessary. This flexibility allows the Council to address evolving economic conditions and complexities within the GST framework effectively. In terms of legal provisions, the GST Council operates under Article 279 of the Constitution of India, which laid down the formation of the Council and describes its functions. This article ensures the Council is a key player in the governance of India's taxation system, helping create a more unified and efficient tax structure in the country. Overall, the GST Council's recommendations play a vital role in shaping the landscape of taxation in India by simplifying the tax system, ensuring equitable distribution, and providing responsiveness to the state's needs. It reflects a collaborative effort between federal and state governments to make taxation easier and more effective for businesses and consumers alike. Other functions of the Goods and Services Tax, GST, Council. The GST Council in India carries out several important additional functions beyond its primary responsibilities. One of its key roles is to recommend when the Goods and Services Tax, GST, should be applied to various products, including petroleum crude, high-speed diesel, motor spirit, commonly known as petrol, natural gas, and aviation turbine fuel. When disagreements arise over the Council's recommendations or how they should be put into action, a special mechanism is in place to resolve these disputes. This framework can help settle conflicts between the central government and one or more state governments, between the central government and a group of states, or even among multiple states themselves. It's important to have such a mechanism so that any disputes do not disrupt the functioning of GST and ensure that all parties involved can reach an agreement smoothly. Additionally, the Council is tasked with recommending how to compensate states for the loss of revenue they may experience due to the introduction of GST. This recommendation is crucial because transitioning to GST significantly changed the indirect tax structure in India. To address potential losses, the GST Council recommends a compensation amount for a total period of 5 years. Following the recommendations of the GST Council, the Indian Parliament, through its legislative power, determines and allocates the compensation to the states. This process was formalized when Parliament enacted a specific law in 2017, which detailed how the compensation would be calculated and distributed. Under Article 279 of the Indian Constitution, the GST Council is established with the aim of making recommendations to the central and state governments on important aspects of GST. This includes the rates of tax, the goods and services that may be exempted from GST, and the special provisions that may be required for certain states or territories. Moreover, the GST Compensation to States Act, 2017, was enacted to implement the provisions related to compensation for states losing revenue due to the shift to GST. This law ensures that states are financially supported and can manage their budgets effectively even with the changes brought on by GST. In conclusion, the GST Council plays a vital role in the smooth implementation of GST across India. By recommending tax rates, resolving disputes, and ensuring compensation for revenue losses, the Council helps maintain fiscal stability for states while also contributing to a unified tax regime in the country. Understanding these functions and the related constitutional provisions is essential for anyone interested in the governance and economic framework of India.